Good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We're reaching you live from Abuja. I am Ronke Kolawole. The Federal Executive Council has approved a robust plan of action towards putting an end to open defecation in the country by year 2025. Consequently, an ambitious Clean Nigeria campaign is soon to be launched by President Muhammadu Buhari, who has also agreed to serve alongside other members of the Council as first-level ambassadors towards leadership and commitment for its successful implementation. Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu announced this while briefing newsmen after the Council's meeting. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that far-reaching measures have also been taken towards boosting revenue collection, curtailing smuggling activities, and enhancing critical infrastructure for economic growth and development.
As the Federal Executive Council winds down its activities under the Buhari administration's first tenure of office, it is indeed a race against time. This informed a nearly 10-hour-long meeting which considered more than 20 memoranda from ministries, departments and agencies. Amongst them is the one seeking to end open defecation in the country.
India plans to declare itself open defecation free by 2nd October this year, 2019. And once that happens, Nigeria is the #1 country in the world that practices open defecation. You will all agree with me that this is an honor we do not want to have.
Although Nigeria recently declared a state of emergency on water and sanitation sector, so far only 10 out of the 774 local governments are open defecation free. Describing this as unacceptable, the Council approved a number of measures, including the proposed launch of what it calls Clean Nigeria, Use the Toilet campaign.
We also hope to create a Clean Nigeria movement and to harmonize ministerial activities so that we have a seamless policies regarding sanitation in the country. We also requested for an annual budget of about 10.6 billion to be approved.
Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed, on her part, secured the Council's approval of 970.2 million naira for the acquisition of residential accommodation for staff of the Nigeria Customs Service, as well as another 247.9 million naira for modern communication gadgets towards enhancing end-to-end encryption of message delivery by the service, devoid of any tapping by smugglers and their cohorts.
The need has become necessary because of the renewed onslaught by the Nigerian Customs Service on smuggling as well as on other economic activities.
Also approved is 710 million naira for an automated project lighthouse aimed at aggregating, centralizing and analyzing nationwide taxpayer data information.
The system will enable us to see a 360-degree view of the tax situation of any taxpayer. At the end of the day, what this will do is it will help us to improve on our tax revenue collection efforts, both at the federal as well as at the state level.
In the area of infrastructure, the Council approved a 1.8 billion naira secondary road contract linking Dangara to Yaba in Kwali Area Council of the FCT, as well as another project for the supply of heavy-duty equipment for the Department of Development Control.
These equipments are used by Development Control to affect needed adjustments to buildings and structures that have contravened set regulations, particularly the Abuja Master Plan.
For the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, we had 2 interventions today. The first was on behalf of NNPC, and that was for the award of a contract to provide a pipeline to supply gas to East and West Corridor and be able to link onto the OB3 contract has already been awarded. The significance of that, obviously, is that the more we can gather gas that is essential to feedstock the pipelines that we're building, the easier it will be for us to create that hub that we're looking for to move gas around the corridors of Nigeria, north, south, east, west, as the case may be.
The Federal Executive Council has also granted approval for the purchase of water tankers and tenders for the FCT Fire Service, as well as a fire service truck for the just completed 17-story headquarters building of the Nigerian Content Monitoring Board in Bayelsa State. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, achieving a universal healthcare delivery is the task before members of Senior Management Course 41 of the Nigerian Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU. Acting Director General of the Institute, Jonathan Juma, made the pronouncement in Bauchi during a council visit of Governor Mohammed Abubakar. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that the team is in Bauchi on a study tour.
The President has challenged members of study group, members of Course 41 to look at how we can fund the universal healthcare delivery in Nigeria. This is one area of concern, not only to Mr. President, but also to all of us as citizens.
Those were the words of Jonathan Juma, the Acting Director General, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, on the task of ensuring that Nigerians get effective and efficient health care services. On his part, Governor Muhammad Abubakar, who acknowledged the importance of good health care system, noted that the government of Bauchi State has taken a bold step in that direction.
We have achieved the primary health care under one roof. It is operating in Bauchi State. We have a fully functional primary health care development agency. And I must say the agency has been doing very, very well.
The team expected to visit some major cities in Bauchi State as part of their study tour. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed, NTA News.
To other issues now, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has upheld the appeal of Governor Gboyega Oyetola of the APC in Osun State against the victory of Ademola Adeleke at the Election Petitions Tribunal. Olabode Arewa reports that the appellate court decision followed a dissenting judgment of 4-1.
The five-man panel of appeal court justices examined 13 issues raised by the counsel to Gboyega Oyetola on the decision of the Election Petition Tribunal. In the lead judgment, the court held that Adeleke failed to prove allegations of overvoting in 17 polling units during the said election. The appellate court asserted that the tribunal erred in amending Adeleke's petition and voiding some votes before declaring Adeleke as the winner. The court also held that the absence of Justice Peter Obiora during the tribunal's proceedings on the 6th of February 2019 and his consequent participation in reviewing and reading of the judgment voided the tribunal's judgment. The court consequently the objections of Ademola DP to the appeal.
The minority judgment of the trial tribunal is another new dawn in our democratic journey.
We still have the right of appeal to the Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the land. Not satisfied with the judgment has delivered, and our right of appeal to the Supreme Court for the final determination.
Issue a petition in that regard.
Meanwhile, Gboyega Yemi Akintunde reports that the governor was among the his speaker is the Jahun Constitutional Assembly that is hereby presented.
Member State Assembly non-performing speaker also with observed. The new speaker, Idris Garba, who is re-elected in 2017, promised to carry all men.
It is going to be a new era in this.
That the Jigawa State Assembly went Tuesday in an attempt to amend the standard rules of the state legislature. The Assembly's symbol of authority met.
Governor Abdul Amendment Law Abdul report that this allows the creation of 4 additional emirates in the state.
Barely 3 hours after its passage, Kano Assembly Speaker Kabir Al-Hassan Rum, alongside other principal officers, took the draft Kano State Emir's appointment and deposition amendment bill to Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. This is to ensure immediate assent and timely takeoff of 4 additional emirates created by the amendment. By appending his signature, Rano, Karai, Gaya and Bichi districts have been upgraded to first-class emirates.
In order to get the active participation of traditional rulers, there is need to appreciate them, there is need to upgrade them based on their historical antecedents.
Governor Ganduje disclosed that new emirs will soon be appointed for the 4 additional emirates. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Let's go straight to the National Assembly, where the Senate has confirmed the nomination of Abike Dabirerewa for appointment as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Let's follow the presentation of the report of his Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations, which described the nominee as well experienced and fit for the office. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has written Senate requesting confirmation of the reappointment of Godwin Emefiele as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Senate has also passed the Federal Capital Territory Hospital Management Board established bill. Also, the House of Representatives has passed a bill to establish Abuja Geographic Information Agency. Other bills passed at the House on Thursday's plenary include a bill to establish Nigerian Council for Psychologists, as well as bills to establish Federal University of Agriculture, Dadinkowa in Gombe, and Federal College of Education, Mongono in Borno State. Meanwhile, the ad hoc committee set up to ascertain the proceeds of the Treasury single account in order to enhance transparency and accountability has submitted its report. Details in our subsequent news. Let's now join Hingino in Lagos for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Lagos. The federal government has filed an appeal against the judgment of the Federal High Court on some oil companies over non-declaration of crude oil exports from Nigeria to United States of America between 2011 and 2013. Vera Chimuba has details.
The federal government had filed a suit in 2016 seeking to recover $245 million from some oil companies, accusing them of shortchanging it by allegedly shipping several barrels of crude oil out of Nigeria without making remittances to the federal government. Among the companies are Ajib Oil and Brass Oil Services, which the federal government sought to recover $55 million and 54 million pounds, representing a shortfall in the amount of excess crude in excess of 500,000 barrels of oil lifted outside Nigeria on board the vessel MT Cosmos. The plaintiff had prayed the court to compel the oil firms to pay the sum with an annual interest rate of 21%. The federal government also sought to recover $8.4 million from Brass Oil in missing revenue. In her judgment, Justice Mojisola Alaterewu of the Federal High Court held that the federal government has not provided sufficient evidence to justify the claim of undisclosed crude oil from these oil companies. The federal government has filed an appeal against the judgment. In Lagos, Viera Chumba, NTA News.
Some academics have lauded the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, for the decision to conduct biometric re-verification for some students who sat for the 2019 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. Justin Moses has details.
It is no longer news that the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has delayed the release of the 2019 UTME results. The decision, according to the board, was due to examination malpractices in some CBT centers across the country. JAMB has promised to fish out those involved before the release of the results. Some university professors commended the body, saying whatever needed to be done to curb examination malpractices and give credibility a chance is a welcome development.
If there will be no admission to university, I will support it. If the malpractice is of massive nature, is generalized, cancel the exam. It's not compulsory that you must admit students every year. Of course, you have backlog of students who are waiting for admissions. Just to make sure that we sanitize the system.
And when the process is faulty, you see that we see all sorts of, persons in the university.
Students also are of the opinion that proper screening of results will stop laziness among students and also award good performance.
This year malpractice can be reduced. If we have the right people in the right position that can handle the right thing at the given time.
In the past, it has been very difficult anyway, but I will commend the JAMB registrar, and you should keep it up. It's commendable.
They added that overlooking examination malpractices will be disastrous to the production of human resources for the country. In Lagos, Jesuto Moses, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has urged the Muslim community in Lagos to avail itself of the training and serenity that Ramadan provides. The governor said this at a tafsir lecture organized by the state government. Nosa Osla reports.
Governor Ambode said it was important for people to imbibe the teachings of the season, especially in relating with God and fellow human beings. Noting that the best days of the state are still ahead, Governor Ambode admonished residents to continue to support government, just as he urged Muslim brethren to also cooperate with the incoming administration of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu to take the state to greater heights.
Every year, we are called to pause and reflect on our lives. How we're serving the Almighty Allah, how we're serving our fellow human beings, our nation, and particularly our state.
I therefore enjoin each and every one of us to be our neighbor's supporter and to keep the closeness within the community.
The State's Commissioner for Home Affairs, Dr. Abdul Hakim Abdul Latif, said the entire Muslim community in the state was grateful to Governor Ambode for being compassionate, saying that the governor's large-heartedness had granted them unprecedented level of achievements. There were lectures and prayers by eminent Islamic clerics in the state, led by the Chief Imam of Lagos. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Back to Ronke in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Higino. Continuous dialogue and broad-based approach to conflict management have been identified as the surest way out of the protracted farmers-headed conflicts across the country. This is the position of key players at a capacity building workshop for community and religious leaders on conflict prevention and alternative dispute resolution put together by the Rule of Law Advisory Team, Office of the Vice President. Herman Jabani reports.
One of the serious security challenges of Nigeria in the recent time is the persistent farmer-herders clashes. This gave birth to the National Livestock Transformation Plan, a strategy to tackle the crisis in the 6 most affected states of Zamfara, Plateau, Taraba, Adamawa, Nasarawa, and Kaduna. This forum, among other things, seeks to provide the stakeholders tactical skills and capacity to prevent, manage and resolve conflict effectively.
Something as simple as dialogue, something as communicating effectively can actually douse tension. And that is why we are saying, let's all come together, traditional institutions, work with the federal government, work with the state government to make this crisis a thing of the past.
We are here to provide a platform where people will dialogue, where people will talk to one another and not, we have always been talking against one another. But now we are providing a platform where people will talk to one another.
Dialogue is the only solution to peace and peaceful coexistence. We'll continue to talk, judge instead of war.
We have been having these conflict resolution meetings for over 1 decade,
But every time it is happening again, we should ask ourselves, why is it? Is it that we don't understand what we have been taught, or is it that we are not sincere in what we are doing?
The meeting later went into technical session. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
In a similar development, Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolutions is to establish zonal offices across the 6 geopolitical zones to boost service delivery and security in Nigeria. Acting Director General of the Institute, Bakut Swab Bakut, at the Infrastructure for Peace project on grassroots peace and capacity building for youth and women, said now is the time to increase synergy across board to tackle violence in Nigeria. Salihu Abdullahi has the details.
Unity and faith, peace and progress, as the slogan of Nigeria's coat of arms, is a constant reminder of conscious efforts by the founding fathers of Nigeria on importance of peace to the country. Building on this legacy, especially with the spate of violence in the country in recent time, the federal government, through its agency in charge of preventing and managing violence, Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, is taking action in the implementation of government cardinal objective in peace building. This is being done through direct capacity building of stakeholders, as well as setting up of grassroots peace platforms for regular interactions such as these.
If we put our heads together and look at the structures that are available, like the traditional structure, the churches, the mosques, and we sit down, we can dialogue, we can negotiate, we can look for ways to solve our problem.
We have been meeting with various youth groups, women groups, organizations, to let them know the need for us to address, follow up our issues through dialogue.
What we are doing basically is the soft side of security. You know, when you do peace building, is the soft side. So, but we are not directly involved in the hard side, but there is a nexus, there is a connection, you know, between the hard and the soft.
Participants drawn from Gwagwalada Area Council in the FCT acknowledged the timeliness of the event in tackling perennial socio-political and ethno-religious conflict in the society.
If the woman does not take care of the home, there can never be peace in the society. The woman is the hub.
As religious leaders, we need to organize workshops like this to bring awareness to our members in our various places of worship.
Peace is a necessity and has no alternative, and that there can be no meaningful development without peace and security. That is the submission of stakeholders at this forum. And therefore, as a take-home message, participants have been urged to propagate love as a vital tool for peace building among the people. From Gwagwalada Area Council in Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. We take a short break now. There will be more reports after the break.
The management of the Nigeria Television Authority (NTA), Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria (FRCN), and Voice of Nigeria cordially invites the general public to the 14th edition of the annual Ramadan lecture, which will inshallah hold on Saturday, 18th May 2019. The topic is Tolerance in Islam, to be delivered by Sheikh Muhammad Nuruddin Lemu, Director of Research and Training, Dawah Institute of Nigeria Islamic Education Trust, Mina, Niger State. The venue for the event is Lumana Multipurpose Hall, River Road, Jabi Road East, Ngorimi Jari, Kaduna by 9 a.m. Under the distinguished chairmanship of Lamido of Adamawa, His Royal Highness Muhammad Berkindo Aliyu Mustafa. The chief host is His Excellency Malam Nasr Ahmed El-Rufai, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Royal Father of the Day is His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Show Idris, CFR, Emir of Zazzau. The host, Malam Yakubi Muhammad, Director General of Nigeria Television Authority, Malam Mansur Liman, Director General of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Dr. Osita Okechukwu, Director General of Voice of Nigeria, Announcer Organizing Committee. You are welcome.
Do you desire to improve your grammar and sharpen your pronunciation skills? If your answer is yes, then you need to attend a special 4-week course on English Grammar and Pronunciation for Broadcasters organized by NTA Television College, Jos. The course will expose participants to the nitty-gritty of English grammar and usage, which will enable them speak fluently and write as well as edit scripts flawlessly. Journalists, presenters, scriptwriters, television and radio news editors, secretaries, masters of ceremonies, and hosts of live events will find the course highly beneficial. Date, 13th May to 7th June 2019. Venue, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Cost fee, 100,000 naira per participant. Accommodation inclusive. For more inquiries, please call 0803 3144 383 or 0806 9809 807. You can also visit our website on www.ntatvc.com. NTA Television College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
We appreciate your staying with us. The federal government says it has expressed its commitment to continuously providing an enabling environment for investors to do business in Nigeria by fast-tracking the Ease of Doing Business initiative. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enalama, said as the government that interfaces with the private sector, the initiative will not be compromised. He said this today on Good Morning Nigeria while reviewing trade and investment in the last 4 years. Lydia Sampson reports.
Effective trade is profitable for both parties involved. For instance, Nigeria's trade surplus increased to 789.5 billion naira in December 2018 from 761 billion naira in December 2017. It is in the light of this that President Muhammadu Buhari's key focus remains that of providing a favorable environment for investment to thrive. Enalema says the president is also committed to trade facilitation agreements with players who are also committed to investing in Nigeria. The launch of the Industrial Council, chaired by Vice President, has come up with policies changing the narrative in investment in Nigeria.
We basically launched a program called Made in Nigeria for Export. The whole idea being that you want to have competitive centers of excellence where the things you produce them to such quality and at such competitive cost that even if you didn't sell it, you can even sell them abroad if you wanted. And so that program has been launched by the president and is ongoing.
The feasibility studies underway for the establishment of specialized industrial parks, he reiterated, will continue to reposition trade and investment. Niyi Akinsiju, an economic expert, is of the view that policies like the Anchor Borrower Scheme is a paradigm shift with visible results.
You measure your purchasing managers index, your manufacturers PMI. Over the last 16 months, we've recorded an above 50 points, And once you are recording 50 points in your PMI, especially your manufacturer's PMI, it means that you are doing good. Now, we're now just on the margin of 50. We've done a 56 above. This month, last month, March, we are doing 57. It means that industries are flourishing. Inventories are properly managed. Employment is on the increase.
The guests are optimistic that with long-term projections on the creation of industrial parks across the country, millions of jobs will be created. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, redefining the economy for sustainable development through different perspectives of marketing has been stressed as a means of creating new value chains, set standards and policies, as well as promote exportation across the globe. This came to the fore at the annual General Conference of the National Institute of Marketing held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Discussants expressed their views on the need for manufacturers to repackage and for investors to standardize their products to conform with international standards, hereby creating market-driven economy.
You don't have to be sentimental. Markets are not. Markets are frank, they are honest, they are not sentimental. You go for what you have an advantage in. You don't have to produce everything. You have to find the area where you are best at and do so. And then make sure they are the best, and every other person needs to buy that from you. The other areas you can do. That's why you have balance of trade.
There is need for us to begin to believe in who we are, in what we do, and in what we are able to produce. If I need to validate who I am all the time by what I get from the foreign countries, then I don't have anything.
When facilities are provided by government at in various areas, people should try to conform with the rules, because individual attitude as citizens will go a long way to also support what the government is doing.
Since, however, urged all marketers across the country to learn marketing rules and take advantage of opportunities provided by the country's large population. This is nationwide. Governor Obaseki pledges support to private investors in education. Olajide is standing by in Benin with details of this and other reports. Hello, Olajide.
And a warm welcome to Benin Network Center. The performance of Governor Godwin Obaseki has continued to be lauded by citizens. Latest of such is Chief Gabriel Egbenede, the Esama of Benin, who was described as the governor's development striders telling. Good luck, Inaini. Our details.
The visit of the Esama of Benin to Government House took everyone by surprise, including Governor Obaseki, who described it as historic. Chief Gabriel Egbenede sees Governor Obaseki as a man who is doing well in developing the states and urged him to remain focused, just as he assured him of his continued support.
He's doing well. Everybody should praise him. Encourage him not to distract him.
For Governor Obaseki, Chief Egbenede's contributions to the development of the states and the country at large, especially in education, media, and agriculture, remain a reference point. He assured his visitor of his unflinching commitment in transforming the education sector, particularly at the basic level.
Edo has always excelled in it, excelled as a people. And the reason is because of knowledge. In historical times, we were far ahead of our peers in this part of the world. Since the British came, we've also dominated the education space in this country. So with what you have done, we will continue to reinforce. The baton has been passed on to us. We will not drop it.
This is the first time Chief Egbenede is visiting the Government House in 25 years. In Benin, good luck, Inaini, NTA News.
A wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu has made a case for greater rural infrastructure as a template for socio-economic and political development. This is coming from the familiarization visit of the wife of the governor to Aye community in Ifedore local government area of the state, which according to her was prompted by her knowledge that the community is under the traditional rulership of a 20-year-old regent. Olubukola Aduo reports.
Research has shown that the rate of women's participation in traditional practices compared to their male counterparts is minimal but not insignificant. One of the few women in Ondo State who have embraced tradition and customs is Princess Taiwo Adebola Agbono, the regent of Aye community, an agrarian village in Ifedore local government area of the state. As a way of encouraging women and the female folk, the wife of the state governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, came to Aye community to show a solidarity to the young regent and vow to bring about socio-political development to the community through a needs assessment program.
That needs assessment will tell us
what the situation is, do focus group discussion, hear from the people, hear from the community.
The community, through the regent, Princess Taiwo Agbono, highlighted areas where intervention is needed, which include motorable roads and a befitting market.
Our people, our graduates, are unemployed. We don't want them to become nuisance to the society.
Mrs. Akeredolu also distributed Solayo kits and vitamins to the vulnerable groups. Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
The Senate has called on the government and financial institutions to support and ensure effective implementation of the new financial guidelines on the operations of local government accounts issued by the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. Anwulu Okolo sampled views of this development from the streets of Benin.
Designed to deliver services at the grassroots with a lack of financial autonomy due to the provision in the for the state and local government to have joint accounts.
It will make the local government
an opportunity for locals accountable.
There are some documents. In this case now, we are not going to know our
has not just banned
confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
It's the grand finale of the Trophy Five-a-Side Tournament coming up on the 11th of May 2019 at the Campus Mini Stadium in Lagos Island. Over 3,000 fans across the country will have a chance to win a raffle ticket for an all-expense-paid trip to Tanzania to be won by 4 lucky winners. Catch it all live on NTA Network, Kwese TV on UHF 32 and Channel 290 on your Kwese decoder. You can also download the Kwese iFlix on your mobile devices to stream live and get every bit of the action. Trophy Five-a-Side Field of Honor, brought to you by Kwese Free Sports, the official broadcast partners.
NTA Television College Jos announces admissions into 2-year diploma programs in film and television production, television engineering, and broadcast journalism. The sale of forms will commence on the 13th of May and run through 30th July 2019. Admission forms can be obtained from all marketing offices, NTA state capital stations, zonal centers, or at the office of the academic secretary, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos.
NTA TVC.
Properly completed our website. atvc.com 314383.
NTA News, a bit of